Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. The title of this lesson is going to be The Truth Doesn't Have an Opinion Nor Compromises. The truth doesn't have an opinion nor compromises. Why? Because the truth is the truth. The truth is a fact. The truth stands sure. The truth comes to pass. The truth is the foundation of all things. Because when one compromises, you tend to, bend, fold, cater. It ties in with feelings and emotions, right? Same thing as the opinions. Opinions also tie into feelings and emotions. And that's one thing that the truth doesn't soothe. The truth is not here to cater, appease, fulfill your feelings and emotions. It's just not, And once you grasp that, once you actually understand that, once you can digest that, it makes the truth that much easier to deal with, to handle, and to be a part of, And that's why the Lord is only dealing with a small number, because you got 2/3 of our own people that love to cater to their feelings and emotions. We are not in the F&E business. We don't deal with the F&Es, the feelings and emotions of things. We deal with the truth. We deal with logic, We deal with truth. We deal with logic, Of course, we're not saying that we don't have feelings and we don't have emotions. We're just not going to make our judgments based upon it, Our judgment has to be in line with the Holy Scriptures, That's why, when, what's that scripture? Where it says, treat him as a heathen, man. Let me see if I can find it. If an individual is going off, you got to bring him to the law, which is the word. Let me see if I can get it. I think it's Matthew 18, but let me see if I can find it this way. Yep. This is Matthew chapter 18, verse, let me see. This is Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. It says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. That's right. So if a brother goes off according to the scriptures, or a brother goes off according to his conduct, tell him about his problem. Tell him about his issue. Tell him about his trespass, his mishap, between you and him alone, because, that makes for a better bond that can elude and prevent pride from festering. That can also prevent embarrassment from happening, right? It says, verse 16, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the month of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. That's right, because if you don't hear what you're saying, you got now you need witnesses, because the law speaks upon having 2 or 3 witnesses. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3 people may thy word be confirmed. Roughly paraphrasing, right? That's why when you go to the court today, and if there's a trial, and if a crime has been committed, yet if there's no witnesses, you can beat the case, because there's no one else to actually confirm that a particular incident has happened. It's going to be, well, it's my word against yours. At that point, you can use, you're just saying that because you don't like me. Going back to what? The opinions, the feelings, the emotions, of things. And so it's hard to, pretty much determine the outcome of a particular situation when it's one person's word against another person's word. However, if two or three people are saying the same thing as opposed to this one person, then it's the whole majority rules concept, right? Um, and that's why, when you pull two or three different people in at different times, you ask them the same question, you ask them all the same question, and if they all give the same answer, that's how you could potentially know that yes, these individuals are telling the truth. You know, it says, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. It says, and if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church, which is everybody. It says, but if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican, you know. And that boils down to what? That goes according to what? Bringing the individual according to the law. You know, here it is. If a person is going contrary or trespassing the law, trespassing the word, and they still want to be hard-headed, you got to treat them as a heathen. You know, and that's why we treat 2/3 as heathens, because they are their father, the devil, and the lust of their father they would do. He was a murderer from the beginning, abiding not in the truth, because it's all about truth, right? Let me jump back to Second Ezra, right? First Ezra, the third chapter. It says, now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and unto all the princes of Media and Persia, and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him, from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces. Right? So there's 127 provinces that he was in charge of. It says, and when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied were gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept. Hey, and that's why the Apocrypha is good. The Apocrypha is good because it gives details of certain history that has happened in the past. During certain rulerships and kingdoms. And at this time, this is Darius the Mede. And he was reigning, alongside the Persian Empire. The Persian and Medes Empire, right? And this is some history that has happened, which is going to tap into, the consensus of this lesson, right? It says, and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him, from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces. And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied were gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked. So he went to sleep and then just woke up, right? Didn't get much sleep. It says, then three young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another, let every one of us speak a sentence. These are his bodyguards, right? They killing time. They having a conversation, right? It says, let every one of us speak a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things in token of victory. Right? So the wiser sentence is going to come from the person who experienced the most. That's just simple and plain, right? Because he's conveying, his life experiences to this one particular sentence. Also, that's how the prophets, pretty much move. Like the scriptures say, let your words be few, comprehending much, right? That takes experience in order to do. And the short quotes, the short sayings, those are the ones that stick, right? It says, verse 6, as to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, and to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and an head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin. Right? So that's the reward of coming up with a wise sentence. It says, and then everyone wrote his sentence, sealed it, and laid it under King Darius's pillow. Right? Right. Under his pillow, it says, verse 9. and said that when the king is risen, so maybe he wasn't awake at that point. It says, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of whose side the king and the three princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given as was appointed. The first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. The third, so he was ass kissing. The second, just having fun with the scriptures, right? Verse 12, the third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. You know, now that's that guy knows something. That particular guy knows something, right? It says, now when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him, and so he read them. And setting forth, he called all the princes of Persia and Media, and the governors and the captains and the lieutenants and the chief officers, and sat him down in the royal seat of judgment. And the writings were read before them. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their own sentences. So they were called and came in. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first who had spoken of the strength of wine. So now they're breaking down, why, in their experiences, why wine is the strongest, right? And he said, thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine. It causeth all men to err that drink it. Meaning what? It causes men to err. It causes men to trespass. It causes men to go off, right? It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, the bondman and of the free man, of the poor man and of the rich. So wine has this hold upon all kinds of men. That's what he's pretty much saying. It says, it turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor debt. And it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talents. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. That's why you got a lot of people who like to get drunk and then they go commit crimes, right? It says, but when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. That's why they had a song called "Blame It on the Alcohol," right? Blame It on the Alcohol with Jamie Foxx. It says, O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforceth to do thus? And when he had so spoken, he held his peace. Moving on to the second. First Ezra 4:1. Then the second had spoken of the strength of the king, began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commanded them, they do. If he bid them make war, and what these individuals are saying, it's all truth. Tying up to the consensus of this lesson. What the guy said about wine is true. What the guy was saying about the king is true, right? It says, but yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commandeth them, they do. If he bid them make war the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil as all things else. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And yet he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh rest. And yes, the king does have that type of power. And that's why, a lot of women, they like to deal with the boss, of an organization. or of a company or in a business, because he sends out commands and the employees fulfill out those commands. So it comes off as a sense of power, right? And this truth, gives us power. And the only reason why this truth gives us power is because it's coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We're just speaking on the things that the Lord said is going to happen, and then it comes to happen. That gives us power, and rightfully so, because we are Yasha Allah. We are the princes of the power, right? It says, so all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh his rest. And these keep watch round about him. Neither may any one depart and do his own business. Neither disobey they him in anything. O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed, and he held his tongue? It says, then the third, who has spoken of women, it says, O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed, and he held his tongue? Speaking all facts, right? It says, then the third, who has spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel. And that's why, they had to call his name out. He had to get his credit, right? And that's why the names are important. Names are important for credit to be received. But you got guys out there that don't want to, confess the true name of the Lord. Saying you could call the Lord anything. You'll play yogurt, man. The Lord gonna bring great judgment for playing with his name. Why you think Birdman got so upset on the Breakfast Club? He said, put some respect on my name. Put some spec on my name, because it's all about the respect. When you break down the word respect, it means to what? Look back, look at what I've done. I want credit for it, and the Lord is bringing great judgment, the Lord is bringing great judgment, and he wants credit for it. Him and his son, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, right? But back to the lesson, right? It says, verse 14, O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or have the lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men. And without women cannot men be. And this is why, a lot of men, do these things and cater to a woman, because they bring glory to them. Not only that, men love to go after men are visual creatures, right? So the more beautiful a woman is, the more glory she brings unto him. It's kind of selfish nature, so to speak, because you don't want an ugly woman, because people are going to clown you. Like, yo, that's who you with? So it's a sense of validation in a sense, right? But the more beautiful a woman is, the more Salakia. But the more beautiful a woman is, the more accolades you can receive, the more compliments that may fall upon you, the more validation it brings. Like, oh, yo, that's you, son. Damn, son, she right, yo. You got men dapping, we all been there, those, that have been in that particular situation. Your homeboys. You got certain women. Hey, look, we all been through. You got certain women that only come to the crib after 10 p.m. Then you got certain women that you've got that you take the brunch with. You take her to the day party or whatever the case is. You take her out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. You show her off. Women are possessions. They're, it could be likened unto an accessory, so to speak. Right? Because like the scripture says, these bring glory unto men, right? It says, and without women cannot men be. Yeah, and if men have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? That's right. So point proven, right? Point made. Says, and letting all those things go, do they not gape and even with open mouth fix their eyes faster on her. That's right. That's what happens when you see a beautiful woman. Like you open your mouth, right? Thinking back to that movie, Boomerang. The first time Eddie Murphy's character, Marcus Graham, took a look on Robin Givenson's character. He saw her, and every time he saw a beautiful woman, he heard the dog in him, roof, right? And then his mouth was open, and then he approached her and he says, "Look, you're extremely breathtaking." Because what happens when something takes your breath away? Your mouth opens, right? So it's open mouth fix their eyes fast on her, and have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold, or any goodly thing whatsoever. A man leaveth his own father and brought him up in his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. And I know somebody who left his household just to live with his girlfriend, right? He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the women? Yeah, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. And that's what movies stick out. Dead Presidents. That's what Lorenz Tate character was doing when he robbed that armored truck. His woman was giving him a hard time, saying he couldn't pay any bills. So what? He had to resort to, crime, to bring it all to his lady love, right? There's conversations I have with guys, and to where they may not have their own apartment or whatever the case may be. They all do it not for their own peace, but because they're doing it for a woman. They want to be able to provide for a woman. They want a woman to come back to their place to where there's comfort. You know what I'm saying? So what? They bust out their money plays or whatever the case may be to acquire these things. Why you think they buy jewelry? Why you think they buy fancy cars? To obtain the attraction of a woman. Right? It says, "Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother." And hey, look, a man to give his woman some money before his parents. It says, "Yeah, many there be that run." It says, "Yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes." And that's against nature. That's when these women tend to start running all over you. You know what I'm saying? Once she sees that you're serving her, that goes against order. Sometimes you got to play these women out, man. Not play them out, but just be a mystery unto these women. Dictate the relationship as opposed to her dictating the relationship. You set the order, and she follow, as opposed to the other way around, right? It says, "Many also have perished and have erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him, and upon me the kings." You see, look, he has a great breakdown. It's a couple other scriptures that I would like to touch, but he's giving a whole breakdown behind his sentence. Like the scriptures say, "Let your words be few, comprehending much." This is the comprehending much, right? It says, "And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him, and upon me the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head, and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand." That's right. Here it is. So this is a trump card he pulling. Here it is. You saying the king's the strongest or the wisest or whatever the case is, right? But here it is. This woman took the crown off of the king's head. That's a big sign of disrespect. Because the crown is symbolizing what? Victory, rulership. And you got a woman taking the crown off of their head. And we experienced this. I remember, as kids, you wearing your fitted cap, and a woman takes your hat. She might run off with it, or she might take your hat and then wear it, in a sense, like, because she want to be like you, or that's her showcasing that she likes you, or whatever the case may be, right? But every time she does it, it's not like you fighting her for your hat back. You flashing a smile. It says, And yet, for all this, and there's been situations to where your woman might like hit you on your chin, or start wanting to play fight and do all of that shit with you. These are fulfillment of the scriptures, right? And this is happening. What this is what a guy experienced well over 3,500 years ago. It says, and yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. If she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter. That's right. So, like, when she felt sad, then he felt sad. All right? It says that she might be reconciled to him again. And, oh, you men, how can it be? But women should be strong, seeing they do thus. Amen. And that's another thing, too. Sometimes you shouldn't be into a woman's emotions. A woman should be into your emotions. And that's how you can really dictate that a woman is into you. Sometimes you gotta play games with these women. These women like to play games anyway. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, just look like you're in a bad mood. You're chilling with a woman, you just look like you're in a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? Or just ignore her, right? If she don't fall into those emotions that you're projecting, she's just not into you, man. You know? And that's something that I understand off experience, right? It says, verse 32, O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Then the king and the princes looked one upon another. So he began to speak of the truth. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Right? Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. It says, all the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it no unrighteous thing. Why you think, the Lord is shortening up the days? Because the truth is out. The vibration of the truth is out. Why you think they talking about the MOTB in your mainstream media news? Because we here at Great Millstone, beginning with our apostles, have been talking about it, have been prophesying about it. So the more you speak upon something, the more it festers up. You understand why it's important to do the works? Because the more you put a vibration out there, the quicker the thing comes up. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? That's why it's important to publish this word. It says, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. And their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, majesty of all ages. Blessed be Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth, and mighty above all things. It says, then said the king unto him, ask what thou wilt more than is appointed in the writing, and we will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next to me, and shalt be called my cousin. So that goes to show how strong, the truth is. Truth does not compromise. Truth doesn't have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? You see what he said about the truth. It says, neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, because the truth is the truth, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. That's the truth. What else is the truth? Truth endures, and is always strong, and liveth and conquereth forevermore. Wine can't do that. The king can't do that. I mean, we're going to be king of kings in the kingdom. But in order for us to be kings, we had to have the truth. We had to have had the truth. Oh, Salaki, I didn't mean to do that. Bring out this scripture. Opinion. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 24. Let me start at 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. But many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. So no lies of the truth. A lot of people were deceived, meaning what, lied to because of their own vain opinion. And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. That's because feelings and emotions were involved, not logic, not logic. So that altered their judgment, and that can keep you from receiving the kingdom. That can keep you from receiving the kingdom. I'm gonna close out with this scripture as long as I can remember it. Prophesied the seeds, right? Yeah. This is why we know those pastors and preachers ain't got the truth, because they over there catering to feelings and emotions, man. This is Isaiah chapter 30 verse 10. It says, well, let me start verse 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, that will not hear the law of the Lord, the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And that's what the majority of the people want. That's what the majority of the people want, and that's why the majority of the people is not going to feel us, nor understand us, nor receive us. And that's cool. We understand that, because we're not going to tell you things that you want to hear. We're not going to tell you things that's going to cater to your feelings and emotions, that's going to be smooth. The truth is rough, rugged, and raw, essentially. Like when we say, if you take the MOTB, you're going to die by fire and brimstone, those thermonuclear missiles, which is the microchip, which is out in your mainstream media news heavily, So that's rough, rugged, and raw. That's not smooth. That's not catering. So a lot of people would love to rather hear lies than the truth, but that's not advantageous at all. The lies in which these people push, it's not advantageous at all. It's just only going to lead to your destruction. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. With that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.